Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and on WoW Ahead we got some information about the necklace. The necklace is going to be a next iteration, more like really an addition to the Azeroth system we have of BFA. The necklace is supposed to complete this system, and it kind of plays up to somewhat like artifact power weapons back in Legion, but not quite. It has a lot more customizability with passives and active abilities for you to choose from, with different upgrades to these passives and actives, and the system now has more of a linear progression, not like how the Azeroth gear and the necklace and how you get trades then you lose them if you get a higher item level, and none of that confusion. So in this video I really wanted to touch on some of the different abilities, passives as well as active abilities for 8.2 that we have right now. Now this one was provided by a streamer named Salute, and these are Paladin specific. So I don't know if there's going to be Paladin specific, Warrior specific, or if they're just available for cross realm, cross classes. But we see a bunch of healing ones, tanky ones, as well as DPS ones. In this video, since I'm a DPS main, I really want to talk about the DPS abilities, talk about how good they are, what classes would be able to use them, kind of look at them from PvP or PvE perspective. And then I want to touch on a few interesting ones that are healer or tank heavy, but I'm not a tank or a healer main, so it's not like I have a plethora of experience with those roles. Anyway, let's jump into some of these with a more detailed look. So we have some of our damage ones provided by Wowhead, and these are going to be rank 3. We're talking about all these different bonuses, which are called essences for the necklace. You earn essences from raids, PvP, as well as world quests, but there's probably going to be more ways to earn essences in the future. And you can also rank up these essences. The higher the rank, the more damage it does, the better quality it is, but also it starts to gain extra effects. So we are looking at rank 3 essences for everything. So these are maxed out rank 3. And there are going to be extra effects, so chances are when you guys get your hands on this in PTR or whenever it comes out to patch 8.2 live, then you guys probably won't have the full aspect of some of these. Like for example, the focusing iris. I'll talk about what aspects I'm talking about that look like an upgrade and what feels like a baseline passive of this in just a second. But let's take a look at the first one. Focusing iris is the one we saw in the World of Warcraft stream about patch 8.2, 1.2 second cast time, 1.5 minute cooldown, so it's a fairly short ability. Major power, which is the active ability. Focus, access Azeroth energy into the heart of Azeroth and expel energy outwards, dealing a bunch of fire damage to all enemies in front of you over 2.7 seconds, I guess channeled, or maybe it's a dot. Either way, focus and iris can now be used while moving, seems to be an upgrade of this rank, so the normal will probably won't let you move. So the bottom text is probably most likely going to be the upgrade bonus for getting into rank 3. Minor power, however, and all these essences can be used either as an active ability or a passive. So you can take an essence, look at the active, look at the passive, and decide which ones you want as an active and what would you rather have as a passive. The passive for this one is minor power. Every 2 seconds, Heart of Azeroth absorbs nearby latent Azeroth energy, increasing your haste by 29, stacking up to 10 times. That can be a pretty good potential of 290 haste. That's a fair amount. While at 10 stacks of focusing iris, Heart of Azeroth has a high chance to blast a target with a bolt of Azeroth energy, dealing a fair amount of fire damage. So that's kind of how I'm going to look at all these. I just kind of want to read them, take a look at the passives, see what we have to work with. This first one seems pretty baseline. I don't really know about the extra effect. The short cast for it is not that bad. I don't really know if it's fired, if it's like damage over time, or if it's a channel ability, but I guess we'll find out once we get into the future patch. Just seems kind of like a one big blast. The number here does seem pretty busted for PvP. That seems like half of someone's health, and I guess in future patches with more gear, it could be maybe even a quarter of someone's health or a third of someone's health, but still feels like a little bit nutty. Next one, Blood of the Enemy. I really like this one though. I feel like it plays well with Outlaw rogues, but also any classes are all about critical strikes. Instant, 1.5 minute cooldown. Major power, Heart of Azeroth erupts violently, dealing a bunch of physical damage to nearby enemies within 12 yards, so great for AoE. You gain 25% critical strike chance against those targets for 15 seconds. The upgrade for it is increases your crit hit damage by 35% for 15 seconds. Being Outlaw that plays all about the crit damage, even if I use this as just as a bit of physical damage, gives me more chances to crit with all the crit buffs that I have on my Outlaw. Crit damage would be incredible for this spec, so anybody who plays with crit might actually want to use this. Don't really know how you'd be able to use this as a range. Maybe as a hunter you might be able to run in just to get the value, but probably unlikely. Minor power, your critical strikes grant your, this is the passive one, your critical strikes grant you a stack of blood of the enemy. Upon reaching 25 stacks, you gain a buttload of haste for 12 seconds. Kind of nice little bloodlust effect. With each stack of blood of the enemy grants you 29 critical strikes, so you convert a bunch of crit into a buttload of haste. Blood of the enemy has a 25% chance of only consuming 15 stacks, so in some sense you could have yourself some portion of crit with also the haste. Very strong passive, honestly, when you think about it. With a lot of crit playstyle, I guess it's really heavy for crits. Purification protocol, quality, epic. Oh, there's even some quality for some of these. Instant, 1 minute cooldown, major power, call down a purifying blast at a target location, dealing a bunch of fire damage to all enemies within 8 yards for 1 second every 6 seconds. So that's about 60k damage. Feels like a great one for AoE or single target. Purifying blast damage has a chance to immediately kill any specimen deemed unworthy by Mother. Now this one I don't think is going to be like a random chance. Most likely like critters and certain mobs have a small chance of just dying, but I don't think in PvP you'll be able to blast somebody with this and have like a 1 in a million chance that it will just instantly one-shot them. Although that would be hilarious. Any aberration stuck by the Purifying Blast is stunned for 8 seconds. This second seek be good in King's Rest dungeon. If an enemy dies while inside of a Purifying Blast, damage dealt is increased by 10. So basically you would want to use this with an interesting side effect because of its upgrade, to kill them while they're low. So doing damage, hoping that a bunch of people die so you can continue that momentum onto the next enemy. The passive though, Mother has added a purification protocol to your Heart of Azeroth, allowing your damage and spells and abilities to release a blast of Azeroth energy at your target, dealing a fair amount of fire damage to any enemy within 8 yards, and heals you for 2000 every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. Purification protocol deal 100% additional damage against aberrations. Really cool, has a bit of a heal effect to it. Has a chance to just fire random damage within 8 yards, so it feels like there's a lot of this. Nothing feels like single target heavy or AoE heavy, it just feels like anything can work wherever. Condensed life force, quality uncommon, so I guess a green. Instant 5-minute cooldown, call upon Azeroth to summon a Guardian of Azeroth to aid you in combat for 30 seconds. Imagine using something like this in Arena. I'm pretty sure this might not even be usable in Arena. 30 seconds a Guardian of Azeroth aids you. Minor power, your spells and abilities have a high chance to impale your target with a spike of Azeroth, causing physical damage. Defeat Ajara in Eternal Palace and normal difficulty to earn this. Interesting. So you actually do have sources for some of these. Unbound Force is another one. It's an uncommon instant 1-minute cooldown. Major power, unleash forces within the Heart of Azeroth, causing a shard of Azeroth to strike your target for fire damage every 1 second for 10 seconds. This damage is increased by 300% if it critically strikes. Oh, that could be insane. Again, crit heavy playstyle is where you would want to use this. Minor power, each time you critical strike, you gain stack of Reckless Force, up to 5 stacks. Every 10 seconds, your next spell or ability will barrage the target with 1 bolt of Azeroth energy per stack of Reckless Force, dealing extra fire damage. That's kind of interesting. Source, purchasable from Unshackled Quartermaster in Najatar at Honored Reputation. So you'll be able to get a bunch of these from vendors, it looks like, just from Quartermaster. So a lot of people will have access to these, and maybe collecting a bunch of these with different passes and actives is going to be the way to go. I don't think we'll be able to, let's say, have some like triple of Unbound active and double the passive. I'm pretty sure you'll want to kind of mix and match a bunch of these, but that looks very interesting. And I'm pretty sure we're going to just start with one of these as an active. Eventually you'll be able to earn more as the time goes on, and you'll have one as a passive, one active, and then eventually you earn a third one. Most people, I think, would even be fine just buying this Unbound Force from a Quartermaster at Honored, which I don't think will take too long to reach. Now, I do want to touch upon a few of these that are tank ones and healer ones that seem absolutely busted, just to get you guys a bit of perspective of what they got going on. Burning Embrace for tanks. Major power, burn enemies with the essence of your own life, sacrificing 10% of your maximum health to deal fire damage to all nearby enemies equal to that amount. heal for 10% of your maximum health per enemy hit, up to maximum 50% maximum health. So you only sacrifice 10% of your health to heal for 50 if you hit a bunch of enemies. This could be a great ability to use when you need an emergency heal, and you would even be fine using this at low if you have that extra healing bonus. Imagine if something like this could be used in PvP. Everybody who watches my dueling vids, imagine somebody just like popping this and then just doing damage 10% of their health and healing. Now, a lot of these, first of all, they're going to be either tank specific or heal specific. Some of these I think will be able to be doubled up. It can be one or the other, but some of them do have restrictions for tanks only, healers only, and so on. So we won't have to really worry about stuff like that. Essence of Infinity, epic for tanks. Major power, your next death is prevented, and your state regenerate up to 10% of your maximum health and take 85% reduced damage up to 10 seconds or until you're healed above 70% health. Wow. For 10 seconds you have 85% damage reduction. It's a cheat death for any tanks that don't have a cheat death. Can occur more often than once per 7.5 minutes. Damn, that's kind of a weird way to phrase it, but that's awesome. Imagine any class that's tank that doesn't have a blood death net perk, that doesn't have any kind of cheat death mechanic. So this is actually kind of insane. Essence of Infinity, I think this would be insane for certain classes. For tanks, especially they expect to take a lot of damage, and I would think this would be a great trait for some of the progression content. Minor power, the sands of infinity swirl around you, increasing versatility. This versatility is reduced by 50% for 7.5 minutes. If you die, it's just passive versatility at all times, just to keep you tanky, and 50% if you die. Now for some of the healing ones that I thought are busted. Artifice of Time, major power, it's epic. 4-minute cooldown, a time vortex around a friendly target absorbs a buttload of damage and healing for 6 seconds. When this expires, the absorbed damage and healing occurs periodically over 10 seconds, and the damage is reduced by 20%. Wow, this is nuts. This is insane. So if you basically allow for a tank to do damage smoothing. For example, Brewmasters will take a portion of the damage from a boss, and that'll be put as a damage over time. So they never take a full hit from an enemy. So for healers, they can see as the tank is getting beat up by the boss, but also see this dot that's kind of creeping up little by little by little. For the monk, it's all about trying to control that damage over time and keep it low, but for healers, it makes for a much smoother healing experience. So this basically gives the healer an ability to give, for 10 seconds at least, a bit of damage smoothing for a portion of the health and damage that was absorbed. And if they want to, let's say, save a tank, just put an absorb shield on them and just start healing through that shield as much as they can. Tank will take 20% less damage for 20 seconds or 10 seconds, and the heals will hopefully maintain them over the damage and everything that does for them. Minor power, however, is what I'm more excited about, because this is busted on its own, but this one down here is even better. Your heals have a very high chance to grant target, so however you heal, 3 or 4 haste and speed. Imagine doing mythic pluses and you're healing all the allies all the time anyway, and everybody gets a haste buff at all times. That seems a little bit nuts. Oh, this one's also very interesting, because I know a lot of healers sometimes do a little bit over healing. Well of Existence, uncommon, purchasable from Rustbot Quartermaster Mechagon for honor reputation. Major power, release all healing stored in the Well of Existence into an ally. No idea exactly what Well of Existence is, but looking at the minor power we get a bit of an idea. 20% of your overhealing is stored in the Well of Existence. When you heal your target under 50% health, the well releases up to 9.939 of its stored healing into them. Not really sure if it's supposed to be 9,000 or like a percentage or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like 9,000 or so. But it seems that maybe Well of Existence as a passive portion of your overhealing is going to eventually be stored and released on targets that are fairly low health, giving you a little bit extra healing and making overhealing a little bit less of a concern, especially for some healers that are very mana heavy. You want to make sure all of your mana spent into healing an ally is not overhealed, so you're being mana efficient. But I guess the Well of Existence probably maybe will be something that's just storing up over time, or maybe Well of Existence will kind of work like your passive, where your overhealing is what will be stored. So you can either release all of it on a cooldown, or have it a passive chance to have consistent healing based on overhealing you do. Very interesting, lots to play around with it when you think about it. Very excited about the damage ones. Want to check out what rogues will get next week, but this is some of the abilities that we have right now. Stuff that I like about this, first of all, is I like that it's active and passive abilities that have a lot of play-by-play, and there's going to be a lot of customizability in how you craft your character. You'll actually be able to choose what abilities you want, but I guess for the most part, and it is going to probably end up being something best in slot. Your character is crit heavy, probably want the crit abilities. Your character is not crit heavy, probably some other abilities are going to be better, but most of them do seem to work off of single target as well as AoE. There's some playability between here and there, but they do seem to work for just about every aspect of the game. Now, one thing I was hoping for this is it wouldn't just be like Azeroth abilities. I was really hoping there would be more thematic abilities for each class. Kind of very similar to like what we had with our artifact weapons and artifact weapon abilities. I was thinking that rogues would have their own rogue specific things, paladins would have their own paladin specific things, and unless paladins are getting abilities that have the whole shooting Azeroth at enemies as a theme, unless it's just one of their themes and everybody else is going to do their own thing, pretty sure that everybody is going to be shooting Azeroth out of their necklaces or using Azeroth to heal or protect their allies of some sort. So I think it's interesting as an idea, but is it going to be a good idea? 100% cannot tell. I want to test this as soon as I can. I was really hoping we'd see maybe more of thematic features for it, like a paladin only things, mage only things, warlock only, but maybe we still will. So with the paladin stuff, I did not see a theme. Again, unless their theme is to do like Guardian of Azeroth, maybe that'll be their theme, like Azeroth related and Azeroth based stuff will simply become part of what a paladin simply starts doing, since you know Azeroth and Azeroth stuff is kind of yellowish, kind of shiny, almost like holy energy, so maybe paladins will be embracing that as part of their abilities. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about what we have so far. Does this Azeroth necklace system look any good or not really? Let me know all that in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see all of you guys in another video.